Ocean's 8 is a new crime caper heist movie starring Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, a whole laundry list of actresses and pulp culture icons, and it's a reboot of the Ocean's 11 franchise, this time told with an all-female cast, and it stars Sandra Bullock as Danny Ocean's sister, Debbie Ocean. She gets her own team together, and they're going to steal this big, valuable necklace from the Met Gala. So, Nate, I mean, the Ocean's movies, they're very enjoyable, and they definitely, Steven Soderbergh definitely has his distinct style to it.
Yeah.
So let's just start there, as far as like how Gary Ross handled that kind of style with this heist movie.
Yeah, I think that he kept with the same style, and mostly with that, I think the feel of the Ocean's movies a lot with the way they move pacing-wise is through the transitions. Mm-hmm. So they kept those cool sort of like flip screen transitions and, actually pretty simple transitions, but very effective. So I think that it kept with the style for the most part, and I thought it was a pretty good looking movie.
I agree. I think that it did a good job of like not trying to like 100% copycat Steven Soderbergh style, but there are those camera movements where you see something really far and they zoom out, reveal something in the foreground. Yeah. So I'm glad that they kept the style without making it look like they mimicked it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that, this is, like you said, the pacing of those Ocean's movies before was very well. And I thought that they did a good job with the pacing in this one, too.
I do, too.
There was a little lag time to kind of get the team together, but once they're together and the heist is in full swing, I think this movie really soars.
I think so too. Getting the team together for me is half the fun, and they do spend a little time getting the team together, and they spend just a little bit of time on the character development of Debbie Ocean, which I felt like fell a little bit short for me. There wasn't as much motivation as I wanted there to be for me to root for her to accomplish this job. Not to say that there wasn't motivation, there was, and it was pretty good, but for me, I felt like they could have spent a little bit more time with her.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, in the older movies, especially with the first one, you felt like this was Danny Ocean's story, and he's got his team around him to support him.
Yeah.
He was the lead, and he had a supporting cast, whereas this is kind of a little bit more of an ensemble.
Yeah.
Where you get a little bit of everybody's backstories and their motivations for signing up for this, but you don't get a whole lot of resolution. I mean, you get a little montage at the end at, what happens with everyone after the heist.
Which is normal. Yeah.
Right, but I feel like you're right, especially with Sandra Bullock's character. She was the lead, and she was a little bit underdeveloped. But, I mean, looking at this cast, top to bottom, I really like the performances for anyone. But did anybody stand out to you as a favorite of this movie?
Anne Hathaway stood out. I thought every time she was on screen, she sort of stole the show, and she was really funny. Her character was just this celebrity that's like really cocky, and she just I really enjoyed her, and really I like Sandra Bullock. Even though yes, her character wasn't developed as much, she did really well with the the acting she needed to do here. I think she did a good job.
Yeah, I agree. I really like Sandra Bullock in this one. I really like Kate Blanchett in this one too. I like that she was just she was like the Brad Pitt equivalent. She's just the cool one hanging back and just like has all the right moves, but 100% agree. Anne Hathaway totally steals the show.
Yeah,
in this
she's
movie.
Great. In this
she's
movie.
Hilarious, and she can be very endearing, even though her character is kind of not your
Snotty.
favorite person.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But I think that she gave a great performance, and she really gave the movie life. And someone else who showed up in this movie, kind of towards the third act, when I felt like the movie was really starting to maybe come down for me, James Corden lift this movie back up. He was a breath of fresh air, just when everything was starting to feel stale.
Yeah, and that is the best asset of this movie is the cast, and that there's no character where you're like, come on. I liked everyone on screen, and I was never unhappy with anybody when they were on screen, because there are funny moments in this movie, but it's not laugh out loud funny. You're just you just have this little smile on your face as this is carrying on.
It was kind of one of those things where it felt like a con man movie. It is a con man movie, I guess, of sorts. And it felt like one, con man movie where it's like all this stuff appears to be going wrong, but they got it under control. When things started to appear to go wrong, I didn't really feel like they were actually going wrong. There's that part in the first Ocean's movie where it's like you felt like they got caught or all the money was blown up.
Yeah.
Then they, go back and show you what really happened. I didn't feel like I got that with this movie. It was kind of just a little bit like, oh, by the way, here's all the other stuff that happened under your noses the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one thing with this movie is this is a light movie. It's just very kind of fluffy.
It is.
Which I like these types of
I don't
movies.
mind
I like just sort of sitting down, watching, and enjoying these characters go through their thing and everything. But you're right. I didn't really feel that there was much weights or staked or I never felt like they were going to get caught.
Maybe they're choice to not go into, like, could they get caught? Maybe that would have taken away from the light tone. So
Sure.
I can understand them not making that decision, but with the end, it kind of felt just a little unsatisfied, where it's like, oh, I thought they were screwed and they lost all their money.
Yeah.
But then this happened. In the end, it's just like, all right, tell me how they really made the money.
Yeah, and there was some reveals where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's clever. There was never any loose ends, I
Right.
guess. They wrapped up all the loose ends, but maybe they wrapped them up just a little too neatly.
Buffs.
All right, Nate, we both seem to have a good time with the Ocean's 8 movie, but why don't you go ahead and tell me how much you liked it with your score?
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. It's really brisk. It's easy to watch. It's a fun watch. You sort of go for the heist, but you stay for the characters. So I'm going to go 7.5. I've been giving those out a lot lately, but 7.5. Go see this movie. You'll have a good time.
Maybe a 7.5 kind of summer. I'm right there with you. I'm going to give Ocean's 8 7.5. I feel like the chemistry between the characters worked. There were some things that was kind of missing from a heist movie, some suspense elements, but
Yeah.
I think that the actresses definitely carried this movie, and I think that, I want to see more of them. I want to see them go on another caper, who knows? Next one's Ocean's 9, get another A-list actress to join the team. I'm down for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buffs.
All right, so that's it for our review of Ocean's 8. What'd you guys think of the cast? What'd you think of the caper? Go ahead and leave a comment down below.
Yep, next week we're going to be bringing you our review for The Incredibles 2. I know you're very, very excited about
I am
this
very
movie.
excited for
I'm
this one.
pretty excited about this movie, but I am looking forward to it. Also, don't forget to go check out thecinemabufs.com, our new website, and we got a lot of content there as well. So we'll see you next week. But wherever you are, whoever you're with,
Watch more movies.